Muzikinis Takelis. Muzikinis Takelis.
Okay, so hello everyone, Muzikinis Takelis is back, and today we're starting our season 2 of our podcast series. And today, Thomas, we will start with a new genre, which you already know because I told you. You already know because I told you what we will do, and I think it's most glittery genre of them all, and it's glam rock. So where it started, so the heritage of glam rock comes in from UK in early 1970s, and that could spot a glam rocker from a mile away. Think platform shoes, glitter outrageous makeup, and mad hairstyle. It hasn't been just about music. It was a full-blown performance, like rock and roll got mixed with a fashion show and sci-fi music. So it sounds really interesting to look into it. Yeah, exactly. And what really makes or sparks the interest, the whole scene. And this scene started with Mark Bolan from T-Rex, didn't it? His performance of Hot Love on top of Popes in 1971, so with the glitter all over him, pretty much set the whole glam ball rolling. After that, the UK charts were absolutely flooded with glam acts between 1971 and 75.
And even the one itself, Freddie Mercury, uh, who was more also in the disco and the other type of rock, but he also got involved with the glam look for a while. So how this shows how important was and how attractive this genre was. And even though it was a UK thing, in the US it was less massive. But artists like Alice Cooper and the New York Dolls still rocked the glitter and the attitude. So you could say it was like a uh, like a US product of a glam rock, and it's still weirdly funny that glam basically stayed just a British thing, though.
Yeah, I would like to like uh, give some elaboration that UK completely exploded, as you mentioned, and a couple of artists tried to get this genre into America as second-hand thing. That what I mean second-hand, that it was somewhere near the charts but not in the charts, through Bowie and the Dolls mainly. But even though the glam rock boomed, didn't last forever. It left fingerprints all over the punk, metal, goth, and even pop music later. It's like the glitter never fully washed off. So we just elaborated quickly on the countries, main artists from different countries that were responsible for creating this genre. And what do you think now, Thomas? What are your ideas? What do you think where we should proceed from this information further?
I think since now that we know that, basically who started it, when when did it start, and we kind of described, let's say, briefly main elements, what describes the glam rock. So I think we can go more into that. We can go deeper, and we can talk about like what made glam rock glam. Like, why is it glam rock?
Yeah, I think it's really great approach in which we can jump in, and I think Thomas, you can take the first row and begin with a couple of insights?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so Lucas, so when you think about the glam rock, right? So what is like what is the first thing that comes to mind? So now you think for a while I can say it. So for me, it's like the the essence of this dramatic dramatic change in the industry, dramatic like a picture, and the way they just threw it out subtly out of the window. And like we talked, like we mentioned before, it wasn't just the music. It was this glittery, sparky, outrageous fashion, the whole maybe theater. So this was all also performance out of it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that glam rock was basically rock music putting on the wildest costumes and saying, "Let's have some fun." It rejected all the scenarios or seriousness of revolutionary stuff from the 60s. You know, the heavy political lyrics and denim clad folk singers. Instead, glam was about the embracing simplicity and this delicious sense of superficiality, I would say. It's just a little bit extra. How there is with these Powerpuff Girls. There is a recipe. How it says, nice. Yeah. You remember the saying? It's like,
I don't remember. I remember the cartoon, but I don't remember the
yeah, but in the beginning it says nice, not nice, ice, and everything nice. Just to sum it up, everything nice. So yeah, so just yeah, let's make out of everything nice something more interesting of genre.
Okay, so it was like so it was like more maybe not a fight, but probably like a rebel, like
Yeah,
rebelling
yeah.
from like everything being like maybe, how can you say, maybe sweet, like I don't know, um, standard fashion. So there was a time that they wanted probably to make it like outrageous, like bring something like a inside rebel voice through the fashion. And there's this brilliant quote from scholars Taylor and Wall, who called it offensive commercial and cultural emasculation. Damn, it's like glam just laughed at the idea that rock had to be deep or complicated. Musically, it took chunky guitar riffs from hard rock, clapping rhythms from bubblegum pop, and the old school spirit of 50s rock and roll, but polished with the latest recording techniques. So we have this.
Like a yeah, a full mixture of different aspects that are included, and maybe everyone just got bored from everyone just yelling at the mic.
Yeah.
And the visual side was just as important as the sound, if not more. You had a crazy mix from 1930s Hollywood glamour to 1950s pinup styles and Victorian literature vibes, plus all the sci-fi and fantasy mythology thrown in. It was totally over the top, but that was the point of glam rock.
True. And actually, I love how like glam rock basically blurred gender boundaries too. So when you so it's like playing with androgyny way before it was common. So it's like you have this it kind of melts, you know. It's like the gender melts. So when you see this performance, when you see that maybe you can't even, let's say, you can't describe the gender, so maybe automatically it's very weird for you, but at the same time the singer or the whole band, it become like like a characters of the genre. So you start thinking more about the maybe the lyrics, the music itself. It kind of blends. So the singers blends with these crazy looks. They blend into the songs. And for example, the way David Bowie, Mark Bolan, and others dress and acted challenge all these ideas about masculinity in rock music. So it's already like originality. It's already like something new, something different. Plus, you had showmanship on a whole new level, and like every gig felt like part rock concert, part Broadway show.
Yeah, yeah. I would agree that they try to combine as much as possible into one music genre, and even if you look back, you can see early hits of this in people like Noel Coward, who made style and flair as important as substance even back in the 30s. Glam just took that energy, cranked it to 11 and added a lot of eyeliner. It's like a really nice joke that when we talk about glam, yeah, it gives me these like sparkling, shiny with a lot of eyeliner guys and girls. So okay.
It's I just gonna add that it's just it kind of plays with your mind. I mean, it plays with the stereotypes basically.
It also plays with the stereotype how the rock should sound, I would say, and it makes the
how it should look as well.
how it should look, how it should play, how it should be given, or how it should be shown for a public who maybe came into the concert and they just incorporating different styles or from different backgrounds people, and it's getting a brand new show as a whole. So it's not only powerful as a stand itself music, but also as a performance, which I would say plays a huge role if you're a huge fan of someone. It's like you go in and you're like, wow, okay, this guy has energy, or they made a real great show, or I like this, I like that.
Image.
Yeah,
Image,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you imagine like after the concert, you remember not just the music, but you also remember the characters. Let's say the band,
Yeah.
the characters
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
play.
Yeah, this is important, and what is more important is to get to the start or get to the birth and the boom of the glam rock. And I think this is the perfect time for us to dive into how glam rock actually exploded onto the scene, as we talked a little bit of how they perform, how they try to combine everything. It really started brewing in the late 60s in the UK, growing out of psychedelic and art rock movements, but then Mark Bolan of T-Rex plugged in his electric guitar, put on some glitter. We need more glitter. And bam, the glam era was born.
And that moment in March, like 1971, when Boland showed up on Top of the Pops, all sparkling and satin clad, that's like the big bang of the glam rock, isn't it? And the best part of it, it wasn't just about like look, but music was catchy, it was simple at the same time, and you could say it was at those times like full of swagger. Those types of like of swagger, so it automatically catches more eyes. You already start questioning what's this, what's happening. And his album Electric Warrior is still considered a glam rock masterpiece.
And it was absolute infectious. Soon after, David Bowie unleashed his Ziggy Stardust persona, full on makeup, costume, and theater, and he really understood the power of creating a full character, like mixing mime and music into one wild experience. So we can really quickly come back what we mentioned a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and Bowie even said he loved being categorized as glam. So well, it's a good like a marketing maybe thing that you are you're categorized as a flagmanship for some genre. So when everybody thinks about for example glam, you start thinking about, let's say, first comes who? Bolan or Bowie. And even though he knew he was doing something a bit different, and once Bowie and Bolan got things rolling,
Bowie and Boland.
Bowie and Boland, yeah. Sounds like almost like a Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
You
Like,
had so also had like a new wave, a new flood of bands like we mentioned before, Roxy Music, Sweet, Slade, Mud, jumping into the glam rock pool, and yeah, it was basically shiny, rebellious antidote to the so-called denim dullness of progressive rock.
exactly. And glam wasn't just ruling the charts, it seeped into wider British culture. You had Christmas hits like Merry Xmas, Christmas, Everybody by Slade, and Lonely This Christmas by Mud, songs that are still blaring out of shops every December, and you cannot actually run away from them on December season or Christmas season if you're, for example, in Europe, I would say.
Yeah, and like even though it became a massive thing, but somehow interestingly, glam didn't really conquer United States like the same way. So even though you had like Bowie becoming kind of broke through, and that's why he was called like international star. And you had like some people like Lou Reed and the New York Dolls, picking up the torch and kind of delivering that for states. But still, this day, it's still very very British phenomenon, and well, you can say maybe Americans just we're not ready to paste this the like this glittery and like eyeliners and satins and sequins the way the British do. So fast.
Yeah. This actually could be the case, and it's really interesting that it stayed in UK. So I would say it also stayed in Europe more. We can say that it could be one of the cases that it also easier went into the music markets of Europe. And the second thing, which probably we should discuss and go into how the glam rock itself shaped the future of music, of, let's say, rock as itself, and what kind of footprint it gave. No?
Oh yeah,
Would you
sure,
agree?
For sure, because absolutely, because as the genre, like every genre we talk about, you have the birth. So you have the birth genres, the combination genres that, let's say, influence the birth of the genre that we talk about, and this genre, which makes makes the like international like listening and gets some time lapse. So it helps also, it also becomes a part to the other genres. So Lucas, like even though the glam rock kind of fizzled out by the late 70s, so it was kind of short story, but the fingerprints are all over so many like other genres, and you can realize like how much like punk, goth, and even glam metal borrowed from the glam playbook. So technically, you can say that glam never really dies, does it?
Definitely not. It's let's say it just proceeds to give to different like a different generation on or different generation or different genre or different subgenre. In this case we can see that they are borrowing some kind of different sounds or something, some like costumes like scene view or so on. So punk rock might have sounded raw and messy, but the liked a lot of glam attitude, the costumes, the theatrics, the baldness. And you've got bands like Kiss and Merle Krul later on, basically doing glam rock but with more leather, more hairspray, and bigger explosions. So it's like you're passing on a torch and someone is looking into that torch and saying, okay, I maybe just need a small branch of this fire torch, and you can keep everything else because this is like useful and I can make something out of it, or it's easily adaptable to my genre or my future where I see it.
Yeah, or even you can take the torch and you can say, I can make even the bigger fire. I can make
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
even more shiny. I can even like enhance this all go deeper, stronger, or whatever you see that you can go with it. So there are these new romantic bands like Adam and the Ants or A Flock of Seagulls. So they also took the glam visuals, the androgyny, the elaborate costumes, and pushed them into the synth pop world. So suddenly it was all about dramatic haircuts and makeup again, just with the drum machines.
And then there's the Rocky Horror Show, right? Totally glam at heart, all that camp, that bending of gender norms, that love of outrageous costumes without glam rock. I didn't think that show would have had the same sparkle. Plus, it became this absolute icon for the LGBTQ plus community. So we're stepping into a political area.
Yep, and actually, Glam created this space where fame, gender, ego, it could all be played with like with an open, like openly. So people like Bowie and Mark Boland made it cool to be fluid, to be extravagant, to be basically whatever hell you wanted to be on stage, without any fear of showing, I guess, who you are. So even today, pop stars like Lady Gaga or Harry Styles owe a lot to that glam legacy.
Yes, Bowie and Bolan may be gone, but the spirit they kicked off, the ideas that music could be bigger than life, that style could be as powerful as sound, that is still alive and kicking. Long live the glitter, mate. I would say like that. It's really interesting that everyone was just trying to, I would say, like recycle. You said that they just wanted to make it bigger with what they have. I would look in like they try to recycle of what still could be listenable, or what the new era or new generation of people would like. And with this, the new generation of people, I think it's really nice way to start, because the glam rock and its connection to the LGBTQ plus community, well, back in the day there was just LGBT community, one of the most important parts of glam rock story. Thomas, it's how it opened doors for the LGBT community, especially in a time when being openly queer in the public eye was still pretty rare. Glam gave space for artists to blur gender roles, to be flamboyant, and to challenge all the boring old norms.
Uh, yeah, totally. Like you had people like Freddie Mercury, same Elton John, and same David Bowie, and all playing with gender, uh, sexuality, and identity through their music and image, and not being afraid with that, and I guess making it a new norm, because well, being popular through the music, you can deliver some things into making them a new norm. And for example, watching Bowie on stage with Mick Ronson, or seeing Elton in those mad feathered costumes, it gave a lot of hope and inspiration to queer kids who didn't see themselves represented anywhere else.
And it wasn't just about the how they looked, it was in the music too. Songs like Lou Reed's Walk on the Wild Side or Bowie's Rebel Rebel openly talked about non-traditional gender and sexuality. That line in Rebel Rebel, your mother can tell if you're a boy or a girl, that was huge.
Nice. So yeah, basically, glam rock didn't just normalize androgyny, because the way you could think, you just would see like a lot of artists and like the bands kind of show it all together, but they also enjoyed it. They also celebrated. It's like I said, it was like a rebellion. It's like a win in this like a cultural culture political thing, I would say, even. So it taught people it was basically it's okay, not just okay, it's like cool, it's a style to be different, to mix it up, to be outside so-called norm. And then also you've got people like Jobriath, one of the first openly gay rock stars, who took all that even further. Even if he didn't get that success, like financially, musically success he deserved.
Well, yeah, but you look at the things like Rocky Horror Show or later Hedwig and the Angry Inch, they carried that glam rock spirit right into choir, theater, and film, and it's that sense of camp, of transformation, of not being pinned down by anyone else's rules. I think this was like more of a bigger statement, bigger idea.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like basically, glam rock taught us that like rock and roll could just be like as much as a like powder, lipstick, and glitter, as much as it was about guitars, drums, and amps. And it basically smashed the door open for conversations about identity in music, because it hasn't been done before. So you could say that pop cultures been more versatile and even maybe better for it ever since, because you just had, maybe you could say, more freedom, or more freedom to be normalized.
Yeah, and when you're talking about pops, you're talking, as always, not maybe as always, maybe too strong to say, but pop is pop culture, and you have got bigger circle than just glam rock circle, which isn't such a huge circle of people, and everyone starting to adapt this norm into the society. And talking about the society and finalizing everything that we told today and what we overview today, I think we can come up with a couple of pointers, closing thoughts about the glam rock. What do you think, Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can basically make a conclusion here that basically, if there's one thing that glam rock showed us, it's that well, first of all, the music can be more than just sound. so it can bring some more dimensions, more like sense. It can give you more senses in usage, so it can be the full experience. Glitter, fashion, attitude. So you just not take the ears, you also include eyes. Also you use your feelings with the clothes you can later put on, and all it actually mattered the same as songs themselves.
And glam rock turned rock music into a show, into spectacle. And honestly, it made music fun again after all the heavy, serious stuff in the late 60s. Plus, it gave people permission to be weird, to experiment, and to find freedom through performance, which I think it's, as mentioned earlier, it's important thing.
Yeah, and even though the glam rock didn't exist forever, it you could say basically lasted for, let's say, not full 5 or 6 years. But having this in mind, it definitely left spirit behind that, and where punk metal pop stars today, or even big arena shows, you can still see the fragments, the essence of glam magic being used everywhere if you look closely.
Yeah, totally, I would agree, because now if we look into our today, looking today's perspective in 2025, without glam rock we might not have had Bowie, the icon, Queen, the phenomenon, or even things like Rocky Horror Show making their way into pop culture, and our pop current culture wouldn't be changed, and wouldn't be thinking about the identity, fame, and the art in the music as they are thinking now.
Yep, and basically, it's not just everything that you said right now, but the music. We still have to think, because it started with the music, so we have to say that they created some very good songs, some very long-lasting songs, and basically, the next time you hear 20th Century Boy blasting, or let's say you catch yourself humming All the Young Dudes, remember, that is the glitter still working its magic thing.
Exactly. Long live the glitter, long live the platform boots, and long live the glam rock. So thank you everyone for listening to us as we unravel, show you the beauty of genre of glam rock. It was me, Lukas, and my colleague Thomas,
Yes, sir.
and we invite you to stay with us, join and listen to our further podcast, which we will record and give you all summer of different genre reviews. So stick around. Also, we have got some reviews from Eurovision. Hopefully, maybe someone missed and would like to check everything. Please stay around, leave a like, drop a comment, what you like, what you don't like, and Thomas will definitely reply to you.
Yeah, and if you wanna get into the practice and you're lazy yourself of chasing down those hits, you're gonna hear a mix after every
Genre review. Yeah.
Yeah, the genre.
Okay then, without any further ado, thank you for watching us and see you in the next one. See you next week. Ciao guys.